I was at an event one time where I was performing. It was a fair event. So I'm doing stand-up comedy at like noon in the middle of, the afternoon, which is not the ideal time. But to do stand-up comedy, you think it should be at night. But it was a decent show, where I was at, there was probably maybe two-thirds filled up. And after me, I didn't realize this, there was a hypnotist. So I had maybe two-thirds of the venue filled. Well, when the hypnotist came on, it was like five people deep, standing room only outside of the venue. I watched as the crowd was just totally into this. They were excited to see this, participants on stage. After the show, the hypnotist was selling his CDs to stop smoking and lose weight, reduce stress, all of that stuff. I looked at that and I said, there's something to that, and I need to reinvent myself. So I began to study stage hypnosis. And of course, if I'm going to do hypnosis and hypnotize other people, I should be aware of what the experience is like. So as I was studying, I began to implement self-hypnosis, and I began to realize how my thinking was changing, how my mindset was changing, and of course, how I felt overall, because my emotions were changing, my thinking was changing, obviously, my actions, my behaviors, and my results were then changing. They began to match my thoughts and my emotions on the inside. What I was really fortunate was able to do is that I was able to then go back to the bookers and the agents and all the people that I worked with stand-up comedy and said, look, I've got a completely different act here. I've got something new. And all of a sudden it took off. I found myself being booked for more events. I wound up moving into the corporate world, and I was doing a lot of corporate events. I was making considerably more money. I expanded my audience as well, because it wasn't just these corporate events, it was high schools, it was colleges. And as a result of that, I also wound up getting in with Royal Caribbean Cruise Line. So I was paid to fly around the world to these incredibly beautiful exotic locations, and I was performing my show and getting paid to travel. So everything really took a 180, and it was just an incredible experience for me to be able to see that change.